Hey everyone, I'm working to hit 1,000 subscribers, and I need your help to get there. If you enjoy this content, please hit that subscribe button right now.
Hey everyone, before we dive into this absolute mess, I need to ask you something. If you're tired of the same recycled takes and actually want real talk about what's happening with the Cardinals, hit that subscribe button. I'm pushing toward 1,000 subscribers, and honestly, your support means everything. Now let's get into why Cardinals fans are losing their minds right now. The St. Louis Cardinals offseason isn't just disappointing, it's a legitimate crisis. We're watching a franchise that once prided itself on smart baseball decisions stumble through one disaster after another, and I'm not exaggerating when I say this could define the next 5 years of Cardinals baseball. From head-scratching contract decisions to trade markets that have completely collapsed, this organization is giving us reasons to question everything. And just when you thought it couldn't get worse, the entire way you watch Cardinals baseball might be changing, and not in a good way. Stay with me because what I'm about to break down affects every single person who cares about this team. Let's talk about Andre Pallante getting $4 million. $4 million. For a guy who posted an ERA over 5 and looked completely lost down the stretch. His salary literally doubled despite one of the most forgettable seasons you could imagine. Meanwhile, guys like Brendan Donovan, Lars Nootbaar, and Jojo Romero got raises that actually made sense based on what they contributed. But Pallante somehow walked away with roughly $500,000 more than projections suggested he'd get. His agent deserves an award because whatever happened in that room was pure negotiating magic. The Cardinals settled with all 7 arbitration-eligible players without going to hearings, which sounds great on the surface. Nobody wants another Tyler O'Neill situation where the team basically tells their own player why he's not worth the money. Those hearings damage relationships and create awkward tension. But here's my question. Did the Cardinals get absolutely fleeced on the Pallante deal just to avoid confrontation? Are we watching a front office that's more interested in keeping things comfortable than making hard decisions? Because if Pallante comes out next season and posts another 5+ ERA, we're going to look back at this $4 million commitment and wonder what anyone was thinking. Now let's get to the Nolan Arenado situation, which has gone from bad to catastrophic. The biggest landing spot everyone was talking about just completely fell apart. The Los Angeles Angels seemed perfect. They desperately need a third baseman. It's Arenado's hometown area, and they just moved on from Anthony Rendon's disaster contract. This should have been easy. Then reality showed up. According to John Heyman, there are 2 massive problems. First, Arenado doesn't want to go there. Even though he's from the area, he still wants to compete for championships. And let's be real, the Angels aren't anywhere close to contending. They're rebuilding, figuring out their identity, and Arenado has zero interest in being part of that process. The second problem is even worse. The Angels don't want to pay him. Even in a scenario where Arenado might consider it, the money doesn't work. The Angels are trying to control their payroll after the Rendon nightmare, and taking on Arenado's contract, even with the Cardinals eating significant money, just doesn't fit their plans. This is devastating for the Cardinals because the Angels were one of the few logical destinations left. Without them, the market for Arenado has basically evaporated. Insiders are now saying any deal probably happens during spring training, maybe sparked by an injury somewhere that creates sudden desperation. But here's the part that should really concern you. John Denton from MLB.com reported that you shouldn't expect much in return for Arenado. We're not talking about the kind of haul the Cardinals got for Eric Feta and Tommy Edman. We're talking minimal return at best. The Cardinals are essentially looking to dump salary and clear playing time, not acquire future contributors. The Red Sox have emerged as another possibility, but only if Alex Bregman signs elsewhere. So now Arenado is someone's backup plan, which tells you everything about how far his value has fallen. Remember when he could have been traded to Houston? That's looking pretty smart right now. Instead, the Cardinals are stuck with a declining player eating significant payroll, and the exit door keeps getting smaller. Then there's Brendan Donovan, whose trade market has been stuck in neutral for weeks. The same 3 teams keep getting mentioned: Seattle Mariners, Kansas City Royals, San Francisco Giants. These aren't new names. We've been hearing about them forever, yet nothing moves. Here's what's actually happening. There's a massive gap between what the Cardinals value Donovan at and what these teams want to pay. The Cardinals rightfully see him as versatile, controllable, and productive. They want legitimate prospects in return. The interested teams are using the media to publicly negotiate, basically saying through reporters that they're interested but not at that price. This probably won't resolve until bigger dominoes fall. Bregman and other major free agents are still out there holding everything up. Teams won't commit premium resources to Donovan until they know they've missed their primary targets. It's a waiting game, and the Cardinals have to play whether they want to or not. Growing sentiment suggests unless someone offers a genuine haul, multiple top prospects, including elite talent, the Cardinals should just keep Donovan. He's under control, he's versatile, he's productive. Why trade him for spare parts when he could be valuable on the next competitive roster? Seattle makes the most sense because their farm system is absolutely loaded. They have 7 prospects in Baseball America's top 100. Their 7th-ranked guy would be top 5 in most other systems. If anyone can put together a package worth considering, it's them. Now let's talk about the FanDuel Sports Network disaster, which affects how every single fan watches games next season. All 9 teams in the FanDuel Sports Network, including the Cardinals, officially terminated their contracts. This isn't negotiating tactics or temporary measures. This is complete severance because FanDuel's parent company stopped making payments to the teams. They literally stopped paying the Cardinals. That's not a minor dispute. That's fundamental breach of contract. While terminating gives the Cardinals flexibility to negotiate with other broadcasters, it creates massive uncertainty for fans. Nobody knows for sure where games will be next season. MLB has stepped up with Commissioner Rob Manfred, saying they're ready to handle broadcasting for all 9 affected teams. Before you panic about streaming only, there's good news. According to insiders, MLB would still make games available through traditional cable and satellite-like spectrum. You wouldn't be forced into streaming if that's not your thing. However, here's the concerning part. Unlike traditional contracts where networks pay guaranteed amounts regardless of viewership, MLB's model pays based on actual viewership numbers. The team's revenue would be directly tied to how many people watch. Coming into a season where the Cardinals are expected to struggle, where fan interest might be low, this could have serious financial implications. Fewer viewers mean less money. Less money means less ability to spend on players. It creates a vicious cycle where a bad team generates less interest, which generates less revenue, which makes improvement harder. Fubo TV has entered as a potential buyer of FanDuel Sports Network, adding another complexity layer. Another potential buyer fell through and is now a long shot. What does this mean for average fans who just want to watch baseball? Uncertainty. Lots of it. You might need new subscriptions, navigate new apps, adjust cable packages. The familiar production quality might change completely. And here's the really frustrating part. This is happening while the on-field product is expected to be mediocre at best. Fans are being asked to potentially jump through hoops and possibly spend more to watch a team that might struggle to reach 500. Taking a step back, we're witnessing a franchise facing multiple simultaneous crises. The Arenado situation represents the previous competitive window closing with a whimper. The arbitration decisions raise questions about front office strategy. The Donovan discussions highlight difficulty moving players when the market is frozen. The broadcasting catastrophe adds fan experience concerns that compound everything else. John Mozeliak's tenure is winding down with Chaim Bloom positioned to take over after the season. This offseason represents a transitional period where decisions feel committee-made, where accountability is unclear, where long-term strategy seems muddled by short-term problem-solving. The Pallante settlement feels like conflict avoidance rather than merit-based decision-making. Would a different organizational moment have pushed back harder? The Arenado situation is even more telling. This is someone they once viewed as a cornerstone, traded for and extended, believing he'd be a difference maker for years. Now they're desperately trying to find anyone willing to take him, even getting virtually nothing in return and potentially eating significant salary. That's not just a failed transaction, it's a referendum on the evaluation processes that led to acquiring him. The broadcasting mess, while largely out of their control, still reflects poorly on the organization's position. The most successful franchises secured their broadcasting futures with innovative deals and guaranteed revenue. The Cardinals are scrambling to figure out which network carries their games. That's not where a flagship franchise should be. Pitchers and catchers report in approximately 1 month. The Cardinals are heading into spring training with more questions than answers. Will Arenado still be on the roster? Will Donovan be traded before the season starts? What channel will fans need? How will roster construction shake out? These aren't minor details. These are fundamental questions about team identity, financial flexibility, and competitive outlook. Mozeliak stated definitively that Arenado won't be released, that they won't eat the entire contract and cut him. That means they still believe there's trade value, even if minimal. But it also means they could be stuck with an expensive player who doesn't want to be there playing for a team that doesn't view him as the future. That's not a recipe for success. The Donovan situation might drag even longer. With Bregman still unsigned, teams are holding resources in reserve. Nobody wants to trade for Donovan only to watch Bregman sign elsewhere hours later. The Cardinals are forced to wait while losing leverage with each passing day. The broadcasting situation adds consumer experience elements affecting attendance, merchandise, and overall engagement. If watching becomes significantly harder or more expensive, casual fans simply tune out. Diehards figure it out, but casual audiences driving significant revenue might decide it's not worth the hassle, especially for a losing team. This offseason has been an absolute roller coaster of disappointment and organizational chaos. From questionable arbitration to collapsed trade markets to broadcasting disasters, the Cardinals are giving fans every reason to be concerned. The Pallante contract represents a philosophy with broader implications. The Arenado failure is about asset management and consequences of expensive mistakes. The Donovan stalemate shows how difficult maximizing value is in frozen markets. The broadcasting catastrophe affects every fan's ability to follow their team. As spring training approaches, fans hope things start breaking the right direction. Maybe a team gets desperate for Arenado. Maybe the Donovan market heats up. Maybe broadcasting resolves fan-friendly without everyone becoming streaming experts. But hope isn't strategy. Right now, the Cardinals seem to operate more on hope than concrete planning. The franchise that prided itself on organizational excellence on the Cardinal way is stumbling through an offseason that would be comical if it wasn't so painful for fans who've supported through thick and thin. Cardinal Nation deserves better. Fans who fill Busch Stadium, buy merchandise, watch every game, and invest emotionally deserve an organization with its act together. Right now, that's not what we're seeing. The next few weeks are critical. Decisions made now shape not just the upcoming season, but potentially the next several years. Let's hope the people making those decisions have clearer plans than we've witnessed so far. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Can Pallante justify $4 million? Should they keep Arenado if they can't get value? Is Donovan worth holding unless someone offers a massive haul? And how do you want to watch Cardinals baseball next season? Let's get a real discussion going. If you want updates on every twist in this saga, smash that subscribe button and hit notifications. We're covering this team daily with news and analysis you won't find elsewhere. Like this video, share it with fellow Cardinals fans, and let's navigate this together. Thanks for watching, and remember there's always tomorrow.